What 3 things are nothing to sneeze at in your business? Maybe 3 things that you aren't necessarily considering or thinking about. You may be, but a lot of business owners overlook these things. And I'm not going to talk about the usual things like, hey, your finances and your cash flow and things like that. I'm going to talk about 3 things that, of course, if you don't have cash flow and if you don't have finances, if you don't have sales, if you're not running in a semi-efficient, effective, or conscious manner, you're going to struggle in your business. Those things go without saying, and everybody under the planet talks about those. I want to talk about 3 things that you might not be considering, you might not consider on a regular basis, that will definitely impact the success, the longevity, how much you enjoy your business, and things like that. Therefore, they are nothing to sneeze at. This idiom, nothing to sneeze at, people have been using it since the early 1800s. And maybe it came from people looking up their noses and judging and condemning or making fun of either certain things or certain people or whatever they were judging in a negative way. And sneezing, since it comes from our nose, makes our head go down and reminds us to look at things and know that maybe these things are worthy of our consideration and they are important, and we so therefore should be taking them into consideration. I can think of 3 areas that I have overlooked at sometimes in my life and in my businesses. One of those is how we treat other people, right? How we treat the people that we partner with, how we treat our customers, for sure, right? Everybody knows you got to treat your customers well and give them value and serve them and solve problems for them, or why are they going to come to you? You have to focus on your area of expertise and genius and the things that you love to do and do better than anyone else for these people in order for them to continue to do business with you. You want to treat people and every person the way you want to be treated. And it seems so basic, yet how many businesses have you gone to where you've gone in there and you leave and you just have an icky feeling and you're like, I hate being treated this way. I would never treat my customers this way. Yet you might find that you have an employee or someone in your organization or somebody who speaks on behalf of your company that doesn't treat themselves or the people that they interact with the way that you want to create the culture for in your organization. So how we treat people is often how we treat ourselves. And a lot of times we need to treat ourselves a whole lot better, because if we're treating ourselves with kindness and love and in a positive way that empowers us, then we'll treat other people that way and we'll give other people the benefit of the doubt. And no other human being is anything to sneeze at. Everybody deserves dignity and respect and to be treated the way that we want to be treated. That's kindly and in a way that makes the world a better place. Just saying. Of course, that's my opinion, but I'm going to stick with it. The other area that is nothing to sneeze at for actually our businesses and our lives, and most especially in our businesses, because we impact through our businesses a lot more people than we generally impact with our individual lives. And that's why I say this is so important. How we respond to changes and challenges and things that happen that are really outside of our control is critical, because everyone is watching you as the leader of your business, whether you know it or not. They're watching how easily you fly off the handle, how if you lose your temper, what you say and what you feel about things, whether you think they're watching and paying attention or listening or not. They are. You're the leader, and people look to the leader for the vision and the direction of where you're going. But they also look to you for the everyday things like, how do we make decisions here in this business, in this organization? How do we respond to challenges and change? And it's very important that you lead by example, not by default, or not leading at all and letting everybody just kind of figure stuff out for themselves. How do you solve problems in your business, in your company? How do you demonstrate to people? Because I've worked in a lot of organizations where people walked a different walk than they actually talked. They would say one thing to people and then they would behave in the opposite way. They would say, this is important to be safe and pay attention to quality, and then they would be cutting corners at every opportunity to save money at the expense of the quality of the end product. Obviously, quality background here. The other area, the third area that I think is really important that a lot of us overlook in our businesses, especially the busier we get and the more stressed out we get, is what, why, and where we're going with the business and our absolute positive sharing and continued communication of our vision and the direction and the principles and the values, the core values of what our organization and what we actually stand for. And are those consistent with how we're showing up in the world, the decisions we're making? Again, everything ends up being aligned if we're not taking things for granted, if we're not sneezing at and scoffing at and judging and thinking that certain things are important. Because guess what? We live in a global organization where we have to take into consideration a lot of different things. Whether we believe it or not, we need to be able to do that. We need to demonstrate to people that we don't make decisions just on one thing and one thing only. And there still are a lot of companies that make all of their decisions based on money and the bottom line. Not so many anymore, but there still are. And there's other ones that make decisions and decide the direction of their company based on their values and their morals and the example that they want to set, who they want to be, and how they want to show up in the world. How do you want your business to impact the world? Do you want to make it a better place? Do you want to keep it the same? Do you not care about the world at all? You're just here to make money. And that's fine. Just be consistent and true to whatever it is that you're choosing to build into your organization. And you'll attract the people that are attracted to those same things. So would love to know your experience with this expression, nothing to sneeze at. I'm sure I've said it before, at least with my kids, and I'm sure my parents probably said it to me as well. To indicate and just to let me know in another way that something really is important. Maybe it's not important to you, but maybe it's really important to your sister. Maybe it's really important to your cousin. Maybe it's really important to your niece or nephew or friend. And just because you don't see the value and the importance in a certain thing or a certain person doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't, because people all see each and every one of us different, just like we see everybody differently. And I say, look for the good in everybody, look for the good in every situation, focus on what's working, not on what's not, and life is a whole lot more fun. That's it, go out, have an absolutely amazing day, and I will of course visit you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean, where does it come from, and how might you apply it to your business, maybe even your life right now. Have an awesome day. Take care. Bye.